welcome to a brand new episode of Sequel Rights, the podcast where we take a look at the franchises that make you go, they made how many of those? And we give each and every sequel a fair trial. My name is Justin Camps, and I'm here with
Elizabeth Helly
and
Tyler Hymanson.
And we're here to find out once and for all if the shoe fits.
I wish it was once and for all.
Once
Allegedly, there's one more movie in this series.
Well, this is the only one where it matters if the shoe fits or not.
That's right.
Because we're talking A Cinderella Story, if the shoe fits.
2015.
2016, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starring Sofia Carson, Thomas Law, and Jennifer Tilly.
Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Basically the same character if she had 3 daughters.
I will say that of the franchises that we've gone through that have had to recast the same role movie after movie, we have run through some great character actresses for these 4 movies. Mm-hmm. 4 movies.
Yeah, they were all great.
Yeah, they're all people that I was excited to see in the movie.
Yeah, for sure. But before we get too far into it, every week we want to hear from you. We want to hear your love. Eliz, where can people reach us?
Please email us at sequelrights@gmail.com or find us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, or on Instagram, unlike the picture of her sad under the stairs room, at Sequel Rights.
And please rate and review us wherever you find your podcasts. The reviews mean a lot to us and to the algorithm.
Well, let's see what's happening this week in the story of Cinderella.
Once upon a time, there was a girl named Tessa who had a dream.
Picasso! You scuffed my favorite bed!
An all-new Cinderella Story.
Welcome, VIPs!
You've only brought one assistant.
I'm not her assistant, I'm her stepdaughter.
The only thing Tessa ever wanted
You're here to help Athena and Olympia focus on one thing, winning the lead role.
was a way out.
Why are you not auditioning for the musical?
My stepmother.
Spritz, that's it.
Audition in disguise.
I'm not so sure about this anymore.
Shush, shush, and shush.
Come on, baby, get loose.
Oh, yeah, time to get loose this week.
You pretty much heard the whole movie.
Yeah, that's the end of the story. They get loose and they go home. As we said, this one stars Sofia Carson, who I don't really know who that is right off the top of my head.
I was telling Justin before we started recording, they said, oh, she's from Descendants. And I was like, oh, the George Clooney movie? I was like, I thought, did Shailene Woodley have, a younger sister that I don't recall?
Is the Descendants?
Right.
Yeah.
Please, for our listeners out there who don't know what that is, what is that?
It's a series of Disney Channel movies that it is the story. It's based on a popular book series, I think, and it's the story of the children of the Disney villains. And the Disney villains and their offspring are all banished to an island, and the Disney heroes live on another island.
Jeff Probst there?
I wish he was. Kristen Chenoweth's there. But anyways,
who would make an amazing
oh my god, yes.
evil stepmother.
I hope that's the next one. Anyway, so
she's above this.
I don't know. Missy Pyle's above this.
Well, I don't know, I guess.
Oh my. Anyway, the good Disney characters decide that it's not nice to automatically make the children of the bad people banished to the bad island.
Right.
So they let them come to boarding school with all of their kids, and musical Romeo and Juliet type things ensue.
I see.
So Sofia Carson plays Evie, the daughter of the evil witch, the evil queen witch from Snow White.
Uh-huh.
Because all of them have names that are derivative of their parents' name.
I see.
Now, I know we're not talking about the Descendants. This isn't a Descendants podcast, but do they explain who the dads are in all these situations?
I believe they don't.
Okay.
I believe it's very explicitly
It's like the
not
evil witch
said.
from the Snow White had a husband?
Yeah, I don't think they say.
Is there a Jafar?
Yeah. Jafar's kid is named, Jay. like Jay.
And the wife was the tiger. No.
Jay is played by that kid named Boo Boo something or other. Like, seriously, that's his name. I'm not kidding.
Hey, Boo Boo.
And
Boo Boo Smith-Schuster.
Cruella DeVille's son Carlos was that kid Cameron Boyce who like weirdly died out of nowhere.
Away.
And then Maleficent's daughter Mal is Dove Cameron, and she's the main character. So Evie is like the second fiddle, also a girl in the group, but very uninteresting.
Also a girl.
Well, this movie brings the choreographer of the last film into the director's seat.
That's right.
Michelle Johnson gets to take over, and as we've seen for the last 2 movies now, this one starts the exact same way.
Fantasy music video.
With Grease Lightning. Sofia Carson singing the song Full Throttle in a music video. Like, why do they all need to start like this? Okay, this is another movie where it's like the same, almost like not the same plot, but this one's very similar to all the last 3 we've seen.
This one's more contrived.
It gets into like, what if there was a Cinderella story inside the
Cinderella story?
It also, I think goes back the most to the, literally the Cinderella story. Like, a lot of the elements are just literally the same.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first time that someone literally lost their shoe.
Right. But we still have to shoehorn in a pop star and an audition and all this stuff. It's a musical.
But the music video is, really, really long. The last 2 ones, they were doing the music video, but then they were rudely interrupted and awoken from their dream, right? But this one just goes on for 10 minutes.
Yeah, and then
it's just it's a music video.
Yeah, and then this one, a car horn starts honking, and I was like, is that outside? What's happening? And then you're like, oh no, this is her coming out of the dream.
It's part of the beat, dog.
Yeah, but then the horn is part of real life for her as well. But yeah, I thought this was interesting starting the exact same way. And we should say that I feel like this one is even more of a step into making a full-blown musical. There's major dance numbers and everything in this.
Yeah, it doesn't go full on into songs advancing the plot or anything.
Right.
But there's one where they're
the
almost
movie,
singing
the plot
along.
hits pause.
You're not quite sure if they're lip syncing or actually singing, and it's sort of weird, and everyone's dancing, and I don't know. But yeah, she fixes cars. That's her job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her dad was a race car driver.
Dad was a race car driver,
and he died.
And
now she's stuck with her evil stepmother.
Right.
And their 2 terrible stepdaughters.
And allegedly somewhere between Palm Springs and the beach.
Yeah.
Because the locations of this movie don't make any sense.
I did appreciate that they at least left high school behind completely. They were like, you know what? None of these people look like they're in high school. Let's just make them not high school. They are young adults.
They're young adults that give a shit about community theater.
The plot of this one is a little strange. Apparently there is this pop star named what is his name?
Reed?
Reed West.
Yeah.
And he's on the brink of becoming the new hot shit.
Yeah.
He's got a new song out called Get Loose.
Get Loose.
And within a couple weeks, it's already hit the Billboard Top 100.
He's very close to holding his own Sunday services.
Yeah. to having his own opera performed at the Hollywood Bowl.
Right. Nebuchadnezzar. We're going, right, guys?
No.
Okay.
I don't want to be there. Sounds dumb. Anyways, the only way he can finally cement himself as a career awesome pop star is to stage a community theater version of Cinderella at a resort somewhere.
Because his dad wants him to?
It was manager.
Manager dad?
It's not his dad.
It's very stupidly complicated because he has a girlfriend who's an heiress. Her family owns the resort, and thus he needs to put on the production at that resort.
It makes no sense.
Who carries the watermelon?
Exactly. So the part that does make sense is that we have seen there's a precedent for these musical shows put on by the people staying at a resort.
Yep.
And that the people who pay more money somehow get priority in the show.
VIP seats.
No matter how untalented they may be.
Yeah, there's this whole situation where all the girls have paid for VIP passes to do this audition. And apparently you get guaranteed a supporting role, which is pretty nuts. Even if
That's
they're
nice.
like terrible,
Right.
they'll get a supporting role. Or some of them are terrible and get like lead roles, basically.
I'm trying to think of a relevant pop culture reference of somebody who didn't belong in a movie, but I actually can't.
There's also like this thing, like you already mentioned Dirty Dancing in the show, but it's also this thing of like the servants are more talented than the residents or whatever, the guests. And that's also the plot of High School Musical too, pretty much. Like, oh, the talent show, and
Bet
now
on
we're
it.
going to perform. Oh, bet on it.
That's High School Musical 2, right?
That was
Yeah.
like one of the first things we watched at our Disney Plus party. Not the movie, just bet on it.
It wasn't just, let's get ready to Dumbo.
That's still so embarrassing to this day.
Dumbo! Anyway.
Let's get ready.
So yeah, we see this guy, Thomas Law, who's playing Reed, and I'm like, who is this guy? Like, the other guys in all the movies, I knew who they were. They were like, they had done something to be famous.
he kind of has like an Anton Yelchin look to him.
I know. I'm
bit.
like, he
Little
doesn't
bit.
look like a typical Prince Charming, and I don't already know him for being famous. So like, what is the deal? And I was like,
And
who
he's
is this guy?
not grossly older than
Yeah.
everybody in the movie.
And I was like, with looks like that, he's got to be British in order to play this Prince Charming. And then he's like, hello, and I'm like, oh, okay, there you go.
Right.
British, yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's been in some British.
He was like a
TV.
soap opera guy.
Yeah, he was on EastEnders.
They probably thought that he was about to break really big, and then he did this movie, and then nothing else.
Everyone was like, "Whoa,
Dead
never
end.
mind, never mind."
Yeah, poor guy.
But yeah, in this one, I feel like Sofia Carson as Tessa, she gets treated even more poor. I feel like she's treated even more like a servant than in the previous films, where like she has to like, pick up their napkins when they drop them. She has to like put on sunscreen for them.
Yeah, and there's this whole facade of that, like,
There's
they're
a
obviously
dog?
yeah, a dead dog.
Yeah, we continue the weird pet situations in these movies.
Yeah. I was gonna say they're obviously like not like posers, like they don't really
Right.
belong in the rich. They're like nouveau riche, not class, like obviously she just probably came into money from the dad's death, and they're not classy, and
all that
they're-
race car money.
They're trying to act like they're as as fancy as the other people by treating her like a servant or assistant.
They're third cousins twice removed from Madonna, as they say in the movie.
As they say in the movie.
And Jennifer Tilly, who apparently brought her own wardrobe for her character for this
Really?
movie. Yeah, that's what they said on the special features. She brought her own wardrobe, and she dresses very much like Madonna. She's like obsessed with Madonna.
Yeah, she wears the like pointy boob
Yeah.
dress for the costume party.
And her costumes are pretty great in this movie.
Yeah, Jennifer Tilly is trying.
She
In
is
this movie.
screaming all over this movie.
I don't know if this can possibly be a coincidence because the Lily James Cinderella just came out like right before this, and Jennifer Tilly's outfit looks like very, very similar to the Kate Blanchett like green kind of pukey side hat thing, very iconic one that she wears in that movie. And so I was like, oh, I guess that's cool. That she kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah. But she's clearly having fun, and they clearly just like let her loose in this. There's a lot of there's actually a bunch of deleted scenes on the DVD, which by the way, the DVD is hilarious. It looks like it was made with like Toast 10 or something. And that's like it's a
Software jokes.
Yeah, it's a DVD burner that you have at home, and it's like the most basic looking thing you can
Got
have.
it.
It's like, we made a menu.
Exactly. If you saw it, you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that looks like the basic buttons from
Or like
on
the
a
one
Toast
that
DVD."
Costco sends your pictures back on or something.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
But they're like the deleted scenes all have like a little icon that looks like a scissors. Yeah. Anyways, a bunch of the deleted scenes are a bunch of the deleted scenes are of Jennifer Tilly, which I felt was like kind of sad because she's really having fun in this movie.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say is the first half of this movie really clearly to me felt like somebody had just watched Pitch Perfect on the airplane and was like, I can do that, and let's make it a Cinderella Story 4.
Yeah.
There's even a frickin' Cups song.
And the people are like not particular good at the cup
Yeah.
dancing, and she specifically looks at them and goes, "Wow, they're so good." And
Yeah.
I'm like, "Are they?"
They're kind of like this.
Oh my God, they're amazing. Biggest secret here: the best talent makes beds and hauls trash. Wow.
Cup.
I like that the guy. That's the part where the one dude stands up and
that's
starts to
like
do
Shaka?
stomp. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like clap, slap, clap, and then everyone's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, he's related to Hobbs.
Oh, yeah. I'm just like, as you heard in that clip, it's just like, it's very basic.
Yeah, but it's not even particularly choreographed. Like, they all do that rhythm with various cups and tables, but they're not doing like a uniform routine. Like, it's not an Anna Kendrick situation.
It's so bad. And it's just like, I mean, the song that comes after that I thought was kind of fun, and they turned it into a big musical number. But the intro is just like, okay, I looked it up, and Pitch Perfect was out the year before this, so guaranteed that's where they got this. There's also later an audition scene that is like, some of the bad auditions are ripped straight from that, like where the one girl is singing so quiet you can't hear her, straight from Pitch Perfect. And I'm sure maybe
And High School Musical and everything else that's had an audition ever.
Yeah. But
except for Takashi Miike's audition.
I wanted to talk to you about this insane lunch that Sofia Carson gets when she goes to the cafeteria.
Oh my God, yes.
So like, she gets in the line and you see like there's like like a pallet of burgers and hot dogs and stuff, and she just goes like, "I'll take that." And the guy hands her a tray which has a salad, a brownie, and a slushie on it.
Yeah, it looks kind of icy.
Yeah. I was like, what kind of like, what is this?
And here's my beef with this movie. This is the main thing that I have a problem with. Is that if we're talking about the fourth movie in A Cinderella Story, this is the clear opportunity to put fish back in the movie.
That's right.
There could have been salmon or some sort of weird-ass
There
trout.
was no seafood at all.
No seafood at all.
Nope.
Broke with everything that people like about these films.
I know, she ordered a salad? What's that about?
A salad and a slushie? There's not even anchovies in there. And if there was, it was implied.
And she just like nods like that's the preset meal.
No one threw a fish through a portrait of a person. No one.
Missed opportunity.
We did get bird poop as sunscreen.
Ew,
We
that was gross.
did get bird poop as sunscreen, but not seafood.
No.
Wouldn't it have smelled? Wouldn't she have noticed? No? You don't think she'd notice?
Well, serious brain damage is a serious issue.
She rubs it all over her face. So we have this like whole this song called Do You, where they have this whole song and dance. And Do you?
Do you?
No, it's more like Do You.
Do you?
It's You Do You, Kyle.
You do you.
Kyle.
You do you, Kyle.
You do you, Kyle. Not
Kyle,
do
Kyle,
you?
Whenever you're out there, you do you.
You do you. I wanted to talk a little bit about Sofia Carson compared to the other leads that we've had. I kind of was like, I didn't know who she was, but I thought that she actually does the best dancing, and her singing's actually pretty good in this movie, too.
She is given way more to do because the gimmick of this movie is that she has to be two different people at once, running around and being this British alter ego,
Bella Snow,
and doing quick costume changes, and that's part of the comedy of it. I think that she's fairly talented and has to do a lot in this movie.
Like, the dancing is leaps and bounds above anything that, like, Selena Gomez or Lucy Hale were doing.
Well, but also, this is like a 22-year-old girl at this point who already like graduated from UCLA.
Right.
Like,
but you can tell, like, oh, she's like she's like really good at this.
She did fine. I still like Hilary Duff and Lucy Hale more. I just feel like they're more likable. Selena Gomez in general I like more, but not in that movie. She was horrible.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just talking more about like the what was demanded of her as far as like the dancing and musical
Just like
abilities.
straight up execution. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, because as we said, there's a musical within the movie.
Yep.
And like Tyler said, the whole thing this time is that she isn't allowed, her stepmom is not letting her audition, so she is going to pretend to be this other person.
So it brings back in a fairy godmother type aspect where her friend is kind of magic in terms of giving her a makeover.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that's also kind of nice is that Jennifer Tilly notices right away like what this gambit is and is like, fuck that bullshit, you can't do it.
Yeah. She doesn't notice that it is Tessa, but she notices that she knows something's up.
Right.
But I thought like she looked in this one like I think she would look different enough that you.
No. Like
would be like, I don't know what
the way that they sold the misdirect was believable because she had a friend who was very much of theater makeup and gave her wigs and eyepieces and everything else. Where like, and she was doing a full accent.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't just like, oh, like I put on a mask.
Yeah.
Or a piece of see-through fabric.
Right. Yeah. Oh, how could you not know it was me from the Arabian Nights racially insensitive dance?
So this one didn't have anything against
No
Asians.
racial
It was
insensitivity.
amazing.
Yay! Just mostly white people.
Yeah. But I'd rather have, like, just white jokes and British accent jokes rather than, like, oh, hello, ching chong ping pong.
Yeah, that's true.
Ching chong ping pong, clean up the bedroom.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my God.
Twice.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah.
So obviously, we've seen her sing earlier in the movie, and she has her audition and blows everybody out of the water.
Right.
But then she needs to race out of there and drops her shoe on the way out.
Right.
Dun dun dun! Just like Cinderella. The first time we have a shoe related to the whole Cinderella story.
But, like, the shoe mystery is solved relatively quickly, but it's not actually solved because it's her fake identity.
Yeah, I was thinking when this
No Zunes were hurt.
when this happens, I'm like, what? It should have been called If the Shoe Matches, because they don't ever care about whether or not it fits. They're just looking for the person with the other shoe, which is I thought was really dumb. And the whole time, like the dude Reed West is fixing this bike with Tessa the whole time, and he's clearly like falling in love with like the normal version of her, yet she's still like keeping up this like, I gotta be this fake British one.
He never really even has much of an attraction to the fake one.
Oh, he doesn't give a shit about
He's
her.
just like, yeah, she's really
I
talented,
know.
but she's like super flaky. She's talented. I want her to be in the show, but like he doesn't
Yeah,
really ever.
He's like, I'm really into this Tessa girl who's helped me fix this motorcycle that I don't know shit about.
Yeah, so there's like no point for her to like keep up the ruse other than like her stepmom being mad or something.
so stupid.
But yeah, that I didn't really understand. I did not understand.
So that reminds me of, I was going through some of the IMDb reviews of this movie. And this is from somebody who's calling themselves, I'm such a cheese ball.
Okay.
First of all, not great acting. But I wasn't expecting it to be like Hilary Duff's A Cinderella Story. So I still watched the whole movie. That being said, it is incredibly predictable. However, the songs were upbeat and new, and the idea that Cinderella knows motorcycles was pretty cool.
Wait, so like
Cinderella
the
knows
songs-
motorcycles.
The songs being upbeat and new is not a value statement. Those are
No,
just facts.
those are
like
just
they're
facts.
either upbeat or low and beat, and they are either new or old.
I hadn't heard the songs before, so I liked it.
One of my favorite things in this movie is the fact that Reed fell in love with Tessa and not her fake identity, Bella. I thought that was really great, and I probably wouldn't have liked the movie very much if he fell for Bella. Another little detail I loved was the fact that Reed didn't know a thing about fixing a motorcycle. I feel like there are some movies where every guy knows how to fix a car, and when a girl knows how to fix a car, they're surprised, and they bond over that shared knowledge.
Is that still Cheeseball or is that a different
That's
review?
still cheese.
Oh, okay.
I liked that the guy was dumb and didn't know about cars.
I mean, that makes me like movies when guys are dumb.
Yeah.
Because I like cinema verite.
The next one down is A Cinderella Story. If the shoe fits, isn't a great movie, but it isn't a horrible one either.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read on IMDb trivia / Amazon X-Ray that Sofia Carson got the chance to meet Hilary Duff at a frozen yogurt store when she was taking her son to buy frozen yogurt.
Oh.
Carson was so nervous, and she went up to Duff to inform her that she was honored to be doing the last film installment of the franchise she created. Duff was overexcited and let Carson know how much of a fan she was of hers and hopes of working with her in the future on her return to Disney. Hopes was capital H apostrophe S.
Where did this story come from?
Get his
Sophia
mini-
Carson said this in an interview to Young Hollywood.
Oh.
You know what? Those mochi bits are on me. Sophia
But
Carson.
It is nice.
I have Hillary Duff money.
Don't worry about it.
I do believe that Hilary Duff would be very nice to this.
Oh,
young girl.
absolutely,
Yeah, but
yes.
also she's probably like, okay, sweetie.
She was like, wait, they made how many of those?
Yeah. I didn't even know.
Yeah, seriously. Oh man. So yeah, I mean, hijinks ensue. She has to do a bunch of costume changes.
There is a costume ball in this
Oh yeah.
where all the girls dress up like Cinderella, and Jennifer Tilly's like, "Oh, Tessa, I got you a costume as well." And it's a penguin, which I thought was kind of funny.
She is a penguin.
But it is like it isn't like a frumpy penguin outfit. It is like a fit like sexy.
She does
sexy
look.
penguin.
She does look good as a penguin.
Yeah, I was like, it's not like like a fat penguin outfit or anything. I was like, she still looks normal. Yeah, you might think it was like a big like a Wheezy type penguin. Or
Yeah,
something.
it was like a sexy penguin outfit, but with the penguin head from the crappy outfit.
Yeah, it was like
Right.
the body of the outfit was like tapered and everything
Yeah.
to like match her figure.
It's like tailor this penguin onesie,
It was
exactly.
From that,
but not too sexy.
that
Yeah.
like Yandy.com website where people buy the sexy Halloween costumes every year.
yeah, it is funny though.
I don't know what you're talking about. Let's get further into it. Yandy.com?
Something like that. I don't know. They're the ones that put out the like really timely sexy costumes every year.
Oh, okay.
Like this year's there's just like sexy college admission scandal jail bomb and like sexy impeachment.
Rudy Giuliani.
I did see like LA Times. It was like sexy like Mr. Rogers, and I'm like,
Oh
please
yeah, there was
don't.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, they had sexy whistleblower, which was like really just a giant whistle and like a sexy
Oh.
outfit.
Oh, God.
Anyway,
Boo.
This this costume party, we finally get to hear Reed West's hit song "Get Loose," and it's funny because there's this entire choreographed dance that everyone knows. Apparently,
It's like get loose, put the WD-40 inside the door hinge.
it's like the
he doesn't
dance,
know what WD-40 is.
the dance is just like the Bernie dance, basically. Like
Yeah, with-
petroleum-based
It's-
lubricants. Put them in the place to go.
it's hilarious because one of the special features on the DVD is teaching the Get Loose dance, and they have this whole thing about how like, oh yeah, it's like the hustle type, electric slide type dance.
Is
Righty
it though?
tighty, lifty loosey.
I mean,
it's
it's
the
designed
get loose
that way.
dance to the
it's
boosie.
like the wobble and the Bernie, like those
Yeah,
dance moves.
exactly.
It's stupid. I don't know.
What's the Bernie?
The thing from
I don't know.
the movie with the dead body.
Oh,
I don't know.
Weekend at Bernie.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I remember because baseball teams
Movie
did
with the
this.
dead body.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That people used to do that in band all the time. That dance.
I
move.
see,
Is
I
it not
see.
actually called that? I
No,
thought it
that
was.
makes sense.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what it looks like, but I know what you're talking about, I think.
Yeah.
The floppy arms, yeah.
The floppy arms. Floppy bird.
But yeah, they
But yeah,
they just use
this movie continues to go on.
costume party to connect again, and he loves Tessa clearly.
Get loose, get loose, get loose.
To her credit, he's about to make out with her, and she's like, "Wait, what about your girlfriend?" And then he's like, "Oh, I gotta go," because the manager comes in. But at first I was like, "Oh, she's just gonna like make out with him. That's weird and gross, and I don't like it." But
Right.
she asked, and then the manager lied and said, "Oh, he's gonna propose," and so she gets all sad.
Yeah, And we do get to see, we see a couple like rehearsal scenes for this Cinderella production, and I'm like, the whole time I'm like, why the fuck would this guy even be doing this? It looks so terrible. But we do get to see a couple scenes from like the finished production, and I was like, oh, it actually looks pretty nice.
It's almost more like a fantasy ballet, like Rodgers and Hammerstein situation.
Yeah, because there's this like song called like "Why Don't I" or whatever that Sofia Carson sings when she's still in like, servant Cinderella mode.
Yeah.
And she does do a lot of like ballet moves and stuff.
By the way, Sofia Carson's like standard move, or maybe Michelle Johnston's standard move in every single dance that she does throughout this movie is to put her arms up and bend her wrists like in million different directions. So it's like she's like doing the Karate Kid situation, but like that is the signature move of every dance number in this film.
Yeah. But by the end, Jennifer Tilly finds out that Sofia Carson's character Tessa is actually also Bella Snow, and locks her down in her like terrible servant's quarters.
Oh yeah,
room.
they made her sleep under the stairs like Harry Potter, which I was kind of glad she called out. She's like, so I'm Harry Potter now.
And I love that. So at this point, suddenly now this terrible. We took a step back in the stepsisters situation.
Oh yeah,
we definitely did.
They're back to the cartoonish nonsense.
I missed the stepsisters from the previous film.
Yeah,
stepbrother,
yeah,
indeed.
And they're gonna like try to take over Cinderella's role. And I love that this end scene that we've seen rehearsed earlier in the movie is getting played out with like just total nonsense now, and they're trying to vamp, but the audience is like laughing at everything and like thinking it's normal. They're like eating it up.
I don't know if they were laughing at the scene as much as they were just laughing at how pathetic Jennifer Tilly's character was.
Oh yeah, but they seemed like they were enjoying it. They weren't like, I don't know. I didn't get the sense that they were necessarily laughing at her like, what the fuck is this? But
maybe. Since the stepsister is going to take on Cinderella's role, she's like, who's going to take my role? And Jennifer Tilly's like, all right, I could be on stage. And so she tries to take over the stepsister role.
Which is fun for about 30 seconds.
Yeah. And there's like all sorts of screaming. She's
crawls
screaming
through a vent to get back to the stage.
And what I love about the end of this movie, I'm like, so Bella Snow shows up, but it's really obviously it's Tessa.
Bella Snow.
She shows up, and they're like, "Oh my God, Tessa, it was you all along." And she's like, "Yeah, totally. I'm gonna sing a song now."
And then fix a motorcycle and ride it into the goddamn sun.
This is what I was like. Okay, whoa. First of all, there's an insane costume change that happens, and I don't know how that happened because it doesn't make any sense.
Well, I mean, having a quick change is the new like big thing in theater right now.
Right.
Like Frozen or Rodgers and Hammerstein Cinderella.
Except that it was not just a costume change. It was also a
hair and
clean
makeup
the
change.
dirt off your face, make your hair different change. Which, so it's a
quick change. Quick change. Quick change.
So what I want to know is, was the plan for the musical always for them to drive off on a motorcycle?
Yeah, I think so, because that was the whole conceit of why
the whole time it was like, oh, we need her pumpkin carriage, and it's this motorcycle. We got to fix the pumpkin carriage. It's this motorcycle, which never made sense.
It just doesn't make sense because the entire production is like in old-timey fairy tale land. They're wearing like...
Yeah, it's not like they were doing a modern-day interpretation. They were doing Cinderella. They even, like, talked in old-timey, like,
And then suddenly they both have leather jackets and there's a ramp where the motorcycle goes off the stage and they're like, yeah! And then they drive off into heaven.
The finale was guest directed by Baz Luhrmann.
How dare you? It was not nearly enough red velvet for this to be directed by Baz Luhrmann.
And Reed West is like, looks at her and he's like, where do you want to go now? And she's like,
east, motherfucker.
No, she says, everywhere. Which is like the dumbest thing you can
It was really dumb. And I want to say, too, that this is, like, the worst Prince that we've had, by far. Not only is he, like, kind of a no-name guy, but, like, we don't really get much character of him at all. Like, she sort of
We don't even know if he's talented.
She sort of mentions, like, oh, you wrote all the songs for the musical, and, like, that's the real you, as opposed to the one other song we've heard, which is just like a dance song.
Yeah, and we see them watching like a real shitty looking music video of his, where it was like that duet with
the
Harper
heiress
or whatever.
girl. Yeah.
Get loose.
And just the whole plot, the whole conceit of this movie just doesn't make
Mineral-based
sense.
Lubricants help you open up jars and shit.
The other ones made a little bit more sense. Like, oh, this guy's like super popular. Oh my god. This one's like, this guy's doing a weird.
This guy's like 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
This guy is a super famous pop star. This guy is the quarterback, I guess.
This guy's doing community theater at a resort. It doesn't make sense. It's a weird. This
concept. Guy loved Dirty Dancing, and he wanted to do community theater so that he could have. I'm gonna just back off the joke.
And I'm like, I don't know if they thought that like the Cinderella within Cinderella story would be funny or something, but it's kind of not.
I'm gonna imagine that they thought that it would be good.
There was also like a mention that I almost forgot about the entire movie until the very end, that whoever got the role of Cinderella, if she did a good job and impressed the agent record label guy that was there, that she would get a shot at recording a record. And that was mentioned in the very, very beginning, and then at the end when I was like, oh yeah. So I guess there is some real world consequence. It's not all just like this dumb one night only at the resort production.
It's like another weird situation like the other movies where in the other movies she got the scholarship and then she also got a recording contract in the last film, and this one the guy's like, call me sometime, and you're like, oh yeah, that was the record label.
He was like, call me maybe.
Call me maybe. Here's my card.
This could be crazy.
And it's just like, what? Yeah, it was just really weird. So I guess she gets to drive off into everywhere with a recording contract. And
I want to go everywhere with you, and then I'm going to get a recording contract. Because this person at this Marriott timeshare wanted me. He thought that I did a good job singing a song.
Yeah.
Maybe. I've been to many, many Marriott timeshares, and there has never been a talent show of any kind.
Right.
Lame.
That's on you, Marriott. That's on you.
I mean, that's basically the movie. It's just like, if you look at the DVD cover of this movie, you could tell instantly it's not that good.
Spoiler alert, the shoe fits.
Apparently,
the shoe matches.
This one did very well because they happened to hit like the exact right moment that the Descendants thing had just blown up, and so they advertised the crap out of it on Disney Channel and ABC Family, and apparently like almost 2 million people watched it, I guess.
Yeah,
my God.
It says, so it came out on DVD August 2nd, and then, DVD August 16th, and then they premiered it on Freeform November 27th, 2016, with 1.1 million viewers, and then it also aired a few months later, January 16th, 2017, and was watched by 2.13 million people.
2.13?
2.13.
Yeah. Ah, okay.
2.13.
So, yeah, I mean, for the demographic that likes this girl, I guess maybe they liked it. I don't know.
I think that she's actually pretty charming in this. I think that everything around her is not interesting, and it feels like it is being force-fed through whatever template that I think that we established for the past 3 movies is not a template, but somehow producers think that it is. I mean, like, it's going through the paces of this franchise that does not feel like it's a franchise in a way that's like, okay, character, actress, stepmother, caricature, stepsisters.
It's like
mistaken identity.
Which, by the way, the fact that, now friend of the show, Lee Dunlap, it gets a cut of every single one of these movies. She gets a credit, which, like, I'm glad for her. She could laugh all the way to the damn bank, but, like, it's so loose that I'm like,
Yeah,
how do
it's
they even
incredibly
consider that these are
loose.
characters created by her?
Yeah.
I mean, like, good for her, but like, what?
because the plot of the second movie is fairly different from the first one. So
None of them are like the first one.
yeah, like 2 through 4 have all been pretty similar now.
Step up to the
We don't know what's going
Cinderella.
to happen. But I think like also I don't know. I feel like I mean, this is maybe we had a little bit of this with Home Alone, but like this is definitely the first franchise where it's like been the same movie every time, but just like different actors playing the same parts basically. Even with Step Up, there was some like continuity between
Yes,
the movies.
Yeah.
And Home
Maybe
Alone.
the Open Waters, I guess, were like,
yeah,
those were straight up anthology
That's
style.
true. I was like, Home Alone, we have a little bit of continuity, and then it's like, oh, another kid, Home Alone, for the next few. But this one, every single movie has been just like, same scenario, different people.
Recast, roll the dice.
And so it's been a little interesting, and maybe you're hearing that in our voices this week, where we're just kind of like, another
But I
Cinderella
wonder
story.
what it is. You know, I'm not like an expert on WGA regulations, but is it the element of Cinderella taking place in the present day, or is it the title of
Probably.
A Cinderella Story?
Probably
Largely the title.
both, yeah.
So yeah, if they had gotten rid of the and story, then they wouldn't have to even put that credit on. Is
Correct.
it- Yeah. So I guess they just do it for the name recognition.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's awesome for her.
Oh, it's totally
It's like
awesome for
cha-ching
her.
every couple
Yeah.
of years.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also that it's even the first one didn't have to do with fame or mistaken
No, it's
identity.
just a regular girl that wanted to go to college.
Yep.
Like-
Yep. Yep.
And it wasn't like, hey, if you dance real good, I'll give you that money for school.
I mean,
Yeah,
she
I'll be
lives
a
in the
famous. I'm
valley.
a famous boy. I'm a goddamn famous boy. All right.
She
And
lives
if you fall
like
in love
me.
with me,
Like me.
there's some force out there that exists beyond my famous boyness that is going to make you set for goddamn life.
That's right.
Fall in love with the famous boy.
Hillary Duff lived in the valley and was around Hollywood, like her friend did that commercial or whatever, but it didn't have anything to do with the love story.
Right.
Whereas all the rest of them, like, that is it, you know. So.
Right? Yeah, it's like dance for the famous boy.
Dance, monkey, dance.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sing or dance for the famous boy.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll
His
be the
dad
best.
is rich sometimes, or sometimes it's some other person who's a father figure who is also rich.
His bald manager,
Bald manager.
Freddie Marks.
Freddie Baldy Marks.
Yeah, so I don't know. You got a rating system for this one?
Oh, how many tailored penguin suits would you give Cinderella Story if the shoe fits?
If the shoe fits. Okay, if the shoe fits, I think I'll give it like a 4 stars. No, 4, not stars, sorry. 4 tailored penguin suits.
Yeah.
But you know what? The shoe never fits on anyone, so I'm going to give it a 2.
Whoa! 2 points off just for the false advertising?
Two
Actually,
shoe
no.
penguin boogaloo.
I'm gonna go back to 3. Sorry, because we were hating on this movie a lot, but but I did enjoy the dance numbers and the musical sequences in this.
I think that you are right that she is actually fairly talented and
Yeah.
fairly charming.
And I was, like,
does
pretty-
a good job carrying this through. Yes.
Yeah, for a person that I was like, not familiar with you that well. I thought she was actually really impressive in all the musical numbers, and I thought her voice was great, and she obviously can dance. And so those parts I really enjoyed, but the movie built around it is not that great. And as much as I love Jennifer Tilly, I feel like she's a little bit wasted here. Part of me was like,
Totally
oh man,
wasted.
I was like, I wish she was like her character in Bride of Chucky and just started murdering people.
It would have been more fun that way, yeah.
Carrying around the dead dog and murdering people?
Yeah. It's funny. I saw her post something on Twitter earlier this week, or maybe it was last week. She was like, oh, it was like these screen grabs of like the reviews of most of the movies she's in, and they're all like, like the Rotten Tomatoes score is like 13%, and the audience score is like higher, a little bit higher.
Nice.
And I was just like, yeah, she doesn't get the love she deserves.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
we love
correct.
her. She retweeted and liked our tweets multiple times during
Yeah.
the Chucky franchise. So
And she's clearly having a
She's
fun time. here,
great
too.
in this movie. It's that she feels like that she is in a separate soundstage that's happening that's just being cut into whatever's happening in this community theater dirty dancing nonsense.
So for me, 3 tailored penguin outfits.
I am also going to say 3 tailored penguin suits. Overall, I think just the story and the comprehension and the chemistry, at least, was better than that poor Selena Gomez situation. But other than that, I disliked it a lot compared to the others. And it was just weird. Like, I don't know. It just didn't feel like coherent to me for some reason. And yeah.
What about you, Tyler? Did the shoe fit for you?
I'm going to give it 2 tailored penguin outfits. I found it to be... I feel like this is a theme when I'm giving ratings like this. I feel like that this movie had superior parts to what it actually ended up adding up to. I think that her main performance is actually better in some respects to other performances we've gotten in these movies. I thought Jennifer Tilly was also very good in this movie, and somehow that ended up being diminishing returns. I think that this movie was trot out, tired, and just kind of lazy in a way that it's like, oh, well, it's a frame story. It's Cinderella within a Cinderella story. Our job's done. Let's just wipe our hands off and move forward. And I didn't think that... I felt like there was people that were actually trying very, very hard to make this movie work, and I don't think that their actions were reciprocated, and it didn't make it a very enjoyable watch for me.
I also wanted to say, too, I forgot about this earlier, but the stepmother and the stepsisters, like, story-wise in this one... really don't have, like, we don't know what their deal is. Like,
Not at all.
The 1/8 Madonna cousin is the only mention of, like, what do they do? Where are they? You know, what, like, all the other stepmoms had, like, careers at least. They, like, held a job, no matter, even if they were bad at it.
Like,
but,
even if it was just like, oh, like, your mom was a backup dancer and she died.
Yeah, like, I mean, all the stepmoms.
Which is the lamest, flimsiest story, but it was more than this
yeah,
movie
it's like,
had.
okay, at least Jane Lynch was working, and
Right.
so was Jennifer
Missy Pyle.
Missy Pyle and Jennifer Coolidge.
She was a dean,
Yeah, they were all, like, working and doing things, and this time the stepmother and the stepsisters are just completely, like, vapid of character or any motivation of any kind. And also, we don't really know, this is, like, the one time where it's not explained at all why Cinderella is staying with them or continuing to work for them.
Not at all, yeah.
Nothing is mentioned. It's not, oh, they own the garage, or, you know, she has to for X, Y, and Z. You know, like,
Right.
This is the worst motivation we've had, which we mentioned last time, how good the brother and sister were, and
Yes.
her motivation, which is that the best friend was being blah, blah, blah. So,
Yeah, so maybe the blame goes on the script level.
Well-
I think Michelle Johnson did a pretty good job directing for what it is.
sure.
Yeah, fair enough, yeah.
And I'm sure she also probably did the choreography, too.
So, Justin, from what I understand, is that we're not quite done.
That's right. You guys, next week, the Cinderella Story franchise is going to continue its role as a transitional franchise for us. It brought us out of Halloween. And now,
how many of these?
5. And now it's going to bring us into the Christmas season.
Yay.
With a fucking hot off the presses, brand new entry from 2019. It came out just in October, end of October. It's called A Cinderella Story Christmas Wish.
You know how all your Christmas stories get released in October.
Oh, yeah. All the really good ones come out
All
in
the
October.
good ones are in October.
Yeah. Got to get ahead of the game.
That's
you know,
right.
because things come out and it takes people like, you know, a month and a half or 2
Right.
months to figure out, like, oh, this came out?
Well, in a direct-to-video situation, maybe.
Yeah, totally. So, so this is the next one. Michelle Johnson back as the director for this one. So we got to see what Christmas brings to this franchise. At least I'm hoping that, like, Christmas is, like, a chance to maybe, like, totally change up some of the plot points of this movie.
Oh, I hope so.
Or is it going to be like, Santa's a pop star and the elves got auditioned to see whether or not they're going to be top elf? I don't know what's going to happen.
By the way, I want to mention too that the Disney,
I'm prepared to be disappointed by this.
the Disney Cinderella sequels go into time travel, so I'm a little disappointed that we haven't gotten that yet.
Yeah, well, there's still time.
Yeah, Christmas Wish, give us fucking time travel.
There's still time. This one stars another girl I don't even know, Laura Morano. Never heard of her.
If you Jingle Bell Rock at 88 miles an hour.
That's right.
We better not get that stupid White Christmas version.
Yes! I hope that happens. I would love it. Well, in the meantime, Eliz, where can people tell us whether or not their shoes fit?
I think you need to see a podiatrist about that. Or email us.
Foot doctor, he says in the movie.
Yeah. Email us. Sequel rights.
Foot doctor.
You better see a foot doctor, yeah.
sequelrights@gmail.com. Or find us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Sequel Rights.
And please rate and review us wherever you find your podcast. Let us know how you get loose.
Get loose on the floor.
We need these reviews or we'll never get our vague promise of a record deal.
That's right.
That's right.
And yeah, if you email us or send us a review online, we're probably going to read it out loud. So do it.
Actually, something that I would love to hear in your reviews, which character, actor, or actress would you think would make an amazing evil stepmother?
Yes.
In this series, I think that there's a lot out there, and so far, actually, that's been the most redeeming quality of this series. Of just like everybody's like, wow, that's actually kind of amazing that this person's doing this role. It's kind of juicy. It's fun. Let us know what you think.
And honestly, I bet there is a high chance that this is going to keep continuing after a Christmas
Yeah.
week. So get on top of it.
You hear that, character actress Margot Martindale?
Margot Martindale!
Yes!
I love that this is recurring, and I want to keep it going. Just
That would
write
be
Margot
amazing.
Martindale in your 5-star review.
Yeah.
Well, join us next week as we kick off December with A Cinderella Story Christmas Wish.
I've never been